to our first episode. I'm Elizabeth, and
I'm Jennifer.
We came up with a little idea to talk about period dramas because we're both really into them and have been for a really long time. I think it's in my DNA. How about yours?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Does your mom watch them?
Yes.
Yeah, my mom does too. Recently, we have been watching Downton Abbey. And did you watch it all of last season, like the first season whenever it first aired?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm thinking that I don't think I watched. I think I missed a couple of episodes because I noticed it when I picked it back up on Netflix that I missed a couple of them. So
that's terrible.
I know.
I'm really sorry to hear that.
Yeah, but I caught back up in time for the new season.
Season 2.
Yay! And so I was really excited for that to start. And we both watched it live here in the U.S. And I have not cheated and watched it ahead of time, even though it is totally available on YouTube. But I won't do it because I decided I'm going to watch it with my fellow American viewers.
That's right.
But so we're gonna this is just our first one. We don't really know exactly what we're going to do yet, but we plan on it being a series, and we plan on talking about various period dramas that we like, because there's so many of them. But right now we're going to talk about Downton Abbey. We're going to go over anything about season 1 first. I guess we could talk a little bit about that before we go into season 2.
Sure.
Okay.
I have to get my tea first.
Okay. Yes, we're both having
Enjoying
tea.
With our period drama.
Mm-hmm. I'm having ambrosia plum. It sounded appropriate. So the first season, so many things happened. We start off with Bates arriving and the news that the Titanic has gone down. And it's sad. We really get introduced to there's a lot of different characters.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot to keep up with. And the fact that most everyone goes by their last name is difficult for me. So whenever they use a first name, I appreciate that. Does that bother you when people only go by their last name?
It sets a different tone.
Yeah.
And I feel like it really helps set the stage.
Yeah, that is true.
Very period appropriate.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever get called by your last name?
Not anymore.
It would kind of be weird anyway. I do get called by my last name a lot, my new one. I never got called by my maiden name, thankfully. Because that would be weird as well. Well, so do you have any favorite characters from the first season?
I think it would be hard to pick any one favorite, but I love Anna.
Mm-hmm.
Anna's one of my absolute favorites. Of course, Bates.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
How about you?
See, I thought about having a list of names in front of me because there's so many names that I don't know that I will keep up with them all.
Maybe we need to just turn on our IMDb.
We may need to do that. I guess before we start talking about some various character things from season 1, I can tell you where we are. We are in my study in my house, and this is my wall of books behind me.
It's beautiful. I love it. I love the Anna Green Gables shelf.
Yes. It's its own shelf. In future episodes, you may see a different backdrop. It just all depends on funding.
And there may be fascinators involved.
There may be fascinators. But, well, while we're looking up character names, definitely my favorite character is Mr. Bates. I love him. I really, really do. I think, you and I were talking about it earlier. I think a lot of it is his sacrifice, and as this season goes on, you just see how much he cares for Anna, and it's really sweet because both of them, I think, are characters that you wonder if they'll ever have anybody in their life at all. So I was very happy to see them find each other. And I guess really to see Anna kind of go to bat for him and, find out what exactly had happened in his past and kind of try to clear things up around the household for him, because I don't think he was going to speak up for himself. Yeah, so Bates is definitely my favorite character. I think probably second favorite, Anna, and then after that, Matthew. This is probably not a popular opinion, but I don't care for Mary. And I think Matthew could do better. But that's okay. I really don't like Edith. And it just makes me, once again, thankful because I'm not really sure how well I would have done with a sister. Especially not one that acted like that. And then Thomas. Can't stand him. Do you like Thomas, Jennifer?
Oh no, he's the villain we love to hate.
Oh, and I don't know what they're going to do with this character this season because definitely, at least in the first episode of season 2, you see them try to make him have a heart or, you know.
No, you don't buy it.
I don't have any sympathy for him.
Once a scoundrel, always a scoundrel.
Always.
Something
always.
like that. But in his case, anyway. I can't say that for everybody.
Yeah. Now, this is just a random little tangent. What do you think his relationship is to O'Brien?
Partners in crime.
You think that's it?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Okay, this is just my crazy little theory, and you'll have to forgive me because I used to watch Lost, and so I have theories about everything. I think everything has a hidden meaning. I kind of wonder if maybe Thomas is O'Brien's son. Have you ever seen, let me think of it, I think Gosford Park? Have you ever seen that? Do you remember that? Where you find out the little, I don't want to ruin it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but there's a secret in there, and I think there may be something similar going on here. But I don't know if they'll keep us on the line for that long with a secret like that.
I think it probably depends on how long the series lasts. How long the story will.
I don't know. I don't understand their connection. Unless it's just that they're both kind of crummy people. Even though she's not as crummy as as it originally looked.
It seems to me that the two of them really enjoy seeing other people suffer.
Yeah.
At least in season 1.
Yeah.
So they really enjoy that. So if the other person can make somebody else suffer, then they enjoy it.
Well, and O'Brien is clearly unhappy where she is in life, so I think that may be part of it too. And I mean, she's always talking down.
Kind of who wouldn't be? I think that one of the things that season 1 sort of opened my eyes to was the whole, again, the upstairs downstairs sort of issue of they're not allowed to get married, to have relationships. That's just not part of the future, not part of their package. And I can totally understand how that would make somebody bitter, and it would also tear away any hope that they would have of bettering themselves. So I can, but I think for me, as being a person from the 21st century, it's hard for me to really understand. So I feel like that's one of the really positives of Downton Abbey. They sort of bring light on to something that we're blessed by that we take for granted. Yeah,
that's true. And considering, I mean, there weren't a lot of, I guess, and I don't know much about it, but I guess that was a good job to have, to be in a household like that. But it seems like tough work.
Before the family, to bed after the family.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like the way that season 2 started off. I was riveted by the whole thing.
What were you looking forward to the most going into season 2?
I want Hannah and Bates to get together.
That's my answer too.
Yeah, I know. I love them. Yeah, I want them to get together, and of course, within just the first hour, we see
everything coming together, and then it's ripped away from us.
Yeah.
Ugh,
I know. And so whenever his first wife wanders in, and by the way, I don't know. Do you watch Dexter? Okay, I didn't double check it or anything, but Bates' wife, I believe, is the nanny from season 5 of Dexter. So, another TV show you should watch if you're interested in serial killers. That was, I don't know, I kind of like her as an actress, but
I love how they shot that we don't see her until we already know who she is.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great way to introduce the character from the back of her head.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well done.
I don't know what's going to happen there. I don't know. I know one small spoiler that I ran upon.
Don't tell me.
I won't tell you. I'm not going to ruin it for you. I just hope we get what we want. I hope they don't drag us along.
The only thing, I think my main disappointment with the show is that 1 hour into it, I was missing Mr. Bates. I was...
Yeah, I hated
that happened so fast, and then boom, he was gone. So I was very sad about that.
Maybe we'll get him back pretty quickly.
I hope so. I really hope so. I on Twitter, I was tweeting Kevin about Anna and Bates, and I told him I was hoping that Mrs. Bates would run into an unfortunate accident.
Yeah, exactly.
She might fall off the carriage on their way back to wherever they were going. But
yeah. By the way, for anyone who is watching and doesn't know who Kevin is, that is my husband, who also watches the show and may make a guest appearance at some point. I don't know.
In period garb.
Not on Downton Abbey. He may make a guest appearance here. Though I don't know if anybody can swing his way into a show. I think it's my husband. He has a way. What else do you... Jennifer has a few notes here. And next time I promise we'll be more together.
I'm the note taker. I can't help it. One of the things that I thought was... I don't know, when I was thinking about the characters and stuff, I thought it was really kind of interesting, the parallel between the country is going to war and the family goes to war at the same time. Well, the family goes to war before the country does.
Yeah.
But the fact that you've got the lower side of the Crowley family and the upper side in season 1, and then season 2, World War I kicks off, and then the grandmothers are still at war and at peace alternately. They're kind of going back and forth. So I thought that was pretty cute. But
I like the way that they depict the war on the home front as well. I mean, and you really do get to see it because, I mean, they're with the servants. I think if they were just focusing on the family, you maybe wouldn't see that.
All rosy and let's have a concert.
Yeah. But it really looks like things are about to change in the second episode. So.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part about the season opener? Or did you have any disappointments?
Oh, well, okay. My favorite in a really bad way. Not a favorite. I mean, it was disappointment, but it was heartbreaking. But I have a feeling things will work out okay in the end, so I'm okay with it. Sorry, I'm rambling. Whenever Mary finds out that Matthew will be bringing, I don't remember her name.
I think it's Lavinia Swire.
Okay, her name is Lavinia Swire. Okay, I didn't remember her name. So, Miss Swire, whenever Mary finds out that Matthew is bringing Miss Swire, that was heartbreaking to me. And then whenever Mary walked into the concert and saw them together for the first time, who hasn't experienced that?
Well, and that she can't help but stare at them.
Yeah.
I mean, as poised and as posh as she is, as much as she's learned how to put on the act for everybody, that she can't help but stare at them.
Yeah. But, I mean, like, I don't know, because I think everybody's had that moment where there was someone that they loved, and eventually they move on and find someone else, and you see them with that other person. It's pretty bad. So I really felt for Mary, and I hated that part, but I mean, part of me thinks that it will be okay. So, and I did love the part of the train where she gave him the little.
Oh my gosh, that was the best. I think that was the best scene in the whole show for me. Was the train.
Yeah.
That she got up before the servants, before she even had a fire lit in her room, put on her own clothes all by herself, and walked herself to the train station.
And for him to say, if I don't come back, you know, I'm going to cry.
No crying on this podcast.
Oh, okay.
It's Kleenex free.
I'm not making any promises.
Kleenex free. At least until the season finale or something.
Yeah. Well, what was your biggest disappointment?
Not enough Bates. There was not enough Bates in this episode of Downton Abbey. But my favorite, I mean, that was my favorite scene, was the train station scene. But my favorite character moment were the moments with Mary. I know you don't like Mary very much.
She's growing on me.
She's changing, and I think that's what I'm loving the most about. I started thinking about how would I feel, or what would I do if I were Mary in this situation, and I started thinking a little bit about her family. Not only has she been raised at the upper crust, she's been raised the lady who won't inherit, needs to find, a really wealthy husband, a man of position and title. She's been raised for this all of her life, but she's also been raised with a little bit of a shadow over her because her mother's American. And so she's kind of she has to work harder at breaking into that society, into finding that husband, that man who's willing to take on that shadow. and not inherit the estate and all of that. So I feel like she's gotten her way her whole life, and then all of a sudden she doesn't get her way. She doesn't get the man she's decided she wants to toy with, and he doesn't. Mm-hmm. He says no, and then so through her tears, I think she's finally starting to learn that she can have everything she wants, and grow a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's got some more growing to do, because the younger two sisters are the ones who come forward to help with the war effort.
Yeah.
And she still doesn't, and her mom still doesn't. But I think that's going to change.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can look forward to some of that.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But
now, so the other two sisters, Sybil and Edith, what do we think about them?
Ooh,
I've already said I don't like Edith at all. I know, and that's what we're supposed to feel. Mm-hmm. We're not supposed to like her, and I don't even feel like they're giving her very many redeeming qualities, at least not to me.
It's sort of like she and Mary have sort of, they've sort of started each other's avalanches.
Yeah.
Edith sort of pushed Mary off the edge by throwing her under the bus with the Turkish diplomat, mm-hmm. and Mary in turn pushed Edith under the bus with disposing of her.
I sort of love that.
Yeah. But Mary is kind of growing out of that, and Edith is not. And I think Edith is going to end up very dead if she keeps on.
Maybe with a pitchfork.
Oh,
that's what I said to my husband. I said, if she doesn't watch it, that's a farm girl, and she will run her through with a pitchfork.
Oh my gosh. So what I want to know is, why didn't the farm girl say, why don't you teach me how to drive the tractor and you go home?
I don't know.
Farm boy certainly isn't interested in learning how to drive the tractor.
But I did like it that the wife, took the reins there and said, we're done with you. You don't have to come back. Kind of, I guess in a way I do feel some sympathy for Edith, because I think I don't always know how to look at it like the way people are portrayed as far as beauty goes in some of these films, because
she's a ginger. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, okay, and I don't find her particularly unattractive, but I think maybe that everybody around her finds her less attractive than her two raven-haired sisters. But
redheads get bad rap.
But see, I would love to be a redhead. I've always wanted to have red hair. I have an Anne of Green Gables shelf. I do feel bad for her in that way, because I think that maybe they see her as not the pretty sister, and that she's just had a hard way to go the whole time.
The middle child. She's not the baby.
Come on,
she's
middle
not
child.
The oldest. Okay, we'll give her this much grace. Edith, we're going to root for you this much.
Now, I love Sybil. I do love Sybil, because I think that if I now I did take the quiz, which Downton Abbey character are you? Did you take it?
No.
Okay. Well, I took it and I got Matthew. But I'm not a boy. So I wasn't happy about that. Sybil reminds me of myself whenever I was 17.
Very innocent.
Yeah.
She's very innocent. She's got a lot going for her.
Yeah. I mean, she's really into politics, and I mean, she's the kind of, well, I think if I were around back then, I think that's how I would have been. I think I would have been fighting for the vote and in trouble for doing that.
Would you have said yes to the chauffeur, though?
He's a socialist. So, I think once in their life, everybody falls for a socialist. But, I don't know. I don't know. He's charming. A little bit.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
That she was, I mean, she didn't say verbally no, but she said no. I'm just impressed that she had the fortitude to see the bigger picture of life, mm-hmm. as opposed to, my big picture is to get married and have a family and blah, blah.
They may still end up together.
It's true.
I don't know. I think
she's going to be around a lot of soldiers, though.
Yeah, and I think she has a lot of prospects. Mm-hmm. She's the youngest sister,
she's Florence Nightingale now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that does something. I mean, and you have that little pity thing going on whenever you see those poor guys. I've never been a nurse. I'm just guessing. What do you think? Do you think that something will happen between the two of them? Do you think that they'll get together?
I don't know. I don't think he's finished trying.
No, I don't think so either. But I don't think her dad will let her be with a socialist. I don't think her dad will let her be with a chauffeur. But I also think that she's the kind of girl who would say, I don't care what you say. And I think she may be the only one of her sisters who is that way. We'll see. And while we're talking about the family, Lord Grantham, your dad, I love him.
I do love him. He's a teddy bear.
He's
not what I've never seen a character like him in. I think in British period drama, because usually the squire of the lord always has some vice. He's got some chippy on the side, or he's, his hand in the till. But this guy is awesome.
I really like him.
Do you think he would adopt me?
I have to admit, I didn't realize who he was and how many things I had seen him. I mean, I kept looking at him and I was like, okay, of course.
He was in Notting Hill.
I know he was in Notting Hill. I realized that the other day, and I was actually, what was I watching? Because I basically only watch British television now, except for the two things. It's so bad.
Elizabeth.
I know, and I just need to move. But I was watching him on an older show called The Commander. I was watching that, and he's in that, and he's a really good actor. And then, of course, Lady Grantham. I can't think of the actress's name now.
Maggie Smith?
No. Okay, no, not older one. His wife.
The current serving, reigning
lady
of the manor.
I can't think of her name. Because she's an American actress.
Elizabeth McGovern?
Yes, that's her.
She was where did I know her from? And she's in Ordinary People. And
yeah, she's in a lot of stuff. I think she was. I'm glad they cast her in a role, because really, what other? I mean, she's not in a lot of things, like right now at least. But can you think of any other American actress that would have really fit that part very well? She has a good face for it.
Oh my gosh. How could I have... I was like, man, she was in the Scarlet Pimpernel, and how could I not have known it was
I
her?
love that.
It's been a little while since
have you ever seen, have you seen the musical on stage?
No. I don't know if I could do the musical version. I like the films.
Oh, but it's an early on date with Kevin. He took me to see the Scarlet Pimpernel at OU. It was wonderful. But they did cut out one of my favorite songs.
He's a keeper.
I know he's a keeper. What else do you have in your notes there?
Well, speaking of actors in Downton Abbey being other things, I just have to put my, for Mr. Carter, who is in Cranford. Love Cranford. I actually have it from the library right now.
We'll probably talk about Cranford eventually, too.
It's on the list. Well, and since we're on that tack, I mean, how does Downton Abbey rank on your series of masterpiece theater favorites?
I would say it's really up there, at least in how, I really, really want to know what happens next. Most of their dramas are Austen pieces that I've read, or Dickens that I've read. Really great stuff, but I know what happens.
Right.
And this is the first one, at least in the classic series, that
it's an original. Right.
I don't know. It ranks pretty high up there. After it's all said and done. And, it's going to be different than a lot of them, because so many of them are just like these one-shot, Emma, Pride and Prejudice kind of things. And this is such a long series. I don't know. But I really like it. I think it's beautifully shot.
I love the soundtrack, too.
Yes.
I have to say, I am a huge fan of the music. It's
That's
really beautiful. And I found myself noticing the music. I know, it's not supposed to overwhelm the dialogue or anything, but I really felt like it added to the telling of the story.
Definitely.
As the show went on.
I kind of want to rewatch it now.
I know. At least the first 2 minutes so we can hear the soundtrack.
Yeah. I was just thinking something.
Have you learned... See, I'm not married to a history teacher. Have you learned anything about World War I history or period historical stuff?
Well, I found myself asking him more questions, because I have to say, I think out of most... I think I know less about World War I than probably any other
Right.
fairly recent war. I mean, I definitely know more about the Revolutionary War and the Civil War here in America than that one. And so I'm always asking Kevin questions about that. Because I think that World War II just, at least here in a lot of our, in any kind of historical film, I think you see a lot more World War II than one. So, am I learning anything? On the side, I guess less from just watching the show and more from my husband talking about it. About trench warfare. So he's talking about that.
It looks kind of like the maze and the mice in the maze.
Yeah. I love Thomas, sticking his hands up. I knew he was going to do that. Well, I kind of thought maybe he might do it himself on accident.
I couldn't figure out how they didn't know that he'd done that on purpose.
Yeah, because it was a really
in the middle of the night,
idiot move.
Yeah. There's no shooting going on, and then all of a sudden, boom, my hand's blown up.
Yeah. No.
Stretch. He's such a hero, and he's going to be running Downton Abbey from the previews next episode. So that's going to be fun. We need Mr. Bates back.
Why is he going to be running it?
Because he's a hero. I don't know.
Whatever.
I was, as far as World War I goes in the episode, or what I'm learning and stuff, the whole white feather thing, I think, was a little bit of a new concept for me. I mean, I know symbolically what it is, but it kind of was like, so that's where it came from.
Yeah.
And then also, this isn't World War I related so much as it's when Sybil is packing to go to her training camp, and the grandmother, the dowager lady, she says, I'm pretty sure it's her, says something about packing stuff that she can put on by herself. And so I'm sitting there going, I don't understand this having somebody dress me thing. But then when Mary is getting dressed and Anna has to do all of the buttons all the way up her glove sleeve, it's like,
makes sense, I guess.
You can't get dressed by yourself with those clothes.
No, you can't.
You have to have help. So thank goodness I can do my own buttons.
Yeah, it's true. You think about like when a woman puts on like a wedding gown or something nowadays. I mean, that requires help almost always. And I guess it just makes sense because back then they weren't a lot more elaborate things. We only wear them occasionally. I would wear things like that more often if it was socially acceptable.
I've decided my new love affair is going to be gloves. I've been inspired by Mary and the ladies of Downton Abbey. Then you don't have to do your nails.
I don't do them anyway. No, I haven't in a long time. But whatever. I don't know. I think my hands are too, I don't know. I have kind of short fingers. They're not long.
That's good. They're
piano
more
player
delicate.
fingers, I guess. Thank you, Jennifer. Make me feel better about hands. I could get behind gloves. Like the full thing or just short ones?
Yeah. Both.
Okay.
All of the above. In fact, that's what I did on Pinterest today.
Did you?
But that's a whole other podcast.
Oh. Okay. Because...
Oh my goodness. Some of my favorite quotes.
Oh! Favorite quotes!
I did
Yay.
write down a couple. Oh my gosh. The Dowager Lady.
Uh-huh.
I hate Greek drama. You know when everything happens off stage.
Yeah.
I love that.
I know, I did too. I clapped.
And then Carson... See, I called him Carter a minute ago. I'm sorry.
Did you?
I did.
I didn't notice it.
I think that's his real name is Carter.
Oh, that's probably, yeah.
Keeping up standards is the only way to stick it to the Germans. I like that. I like that a lot. He's a man after my own heart.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, he must be a firstborn, because I think I have a lot in common with him.
But if we need to let our viewers know, we are both firstborns.
This is true.
Makes us very special.
It explains
at least
a lot.
in our own eyes.
In the opening credits,
Uh-huh.
I'm sure that you know, being a dog lover,
Uh-huh.
the very first shot
Uh-huh.
was of the Abbey was from behind a dog
Yes,
wagging tail.
yes, yes.
I love that. How creative was that?
Okay, side note on that. Kevin, my husband, is pretty sure, we haven't looked into this, but that the dogs are actually the dogs that belong to the owners of the castle. The castle
As it should be.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And because we looked at the castle's website, and the family is on the page there with their 2, I guess they're yellow labs? Are they yellow labs? Yeah.
I think so.
I think, yeah, they look like the same dogs, so maybe.
That's awesome.
I know.
We love the dogs. We're big fans of the dogs.
Yeah, we both have dogs. I have a Scoodle named Claire, and you have...
I have schnauzers.
I don't know where Claire got her name. I just kind of picked it out. I give names to my pets that other people don't want my own children to have. Next on the list is Clementine, because Kevin has vetoed that one. So I need something to name Clementine. That's how Wilma Dean got her name.
Wilma Dean?
Wilma Dean, my guinea pig. But there's been Penelope since then. This is all unrelated.
I think the only other thing that I had to bring up that I loved was when Anna and Mary are having the conversation at the end, and talking about whether or not to go on and find somebody else. And Anna tells her that she regrets being honest less than being dishonest. And I was just a real thinker.
Yeah. And the fact that she said, when Mary was asking her if she thought she would move on and find someone else, and Anna said she thought that for some people that there was just that one, and there might not be anybody else. It's kind of sad, but I have faith that he'll be back. I think he will.
Yes. And if he isn't, Anna will be okay.
Yeah.
If anybody's going to be okay, it's going to be Anna.
Yeah. She'll be fine. Guy that works for Matthew, mostly.
He ain't no Bates.
No, he's not.
He ain't no Bates.
I felt awfully bad for him.
I don't. He's in my list of characters to move on. I liked him in season 1.
Yeah.
But they've shown sides of his character in this first episode of season 2 that I'm not a fan.
Yeah. What about the guy with PTSD?
The one who kills himself?
No, not that one. The one who's working in the house. What is his name?
Oh, he's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see more.
Yeah, and seeing him interact with O'Brien is showing a different side of her too.
I was hoping she'd really come around, but I'm
sure?
really not sure.
Well, I think she's so guilt-ridden that she's acting pretty nice toward her employers, at least. I don't
see, but she's still influencing Lady Mary, not Lady Mary, Lady Crawley. She's still, Thomas needs to be here working. I know that you would know the answer to this, my lady.
But I'm kind of waiting on Thomas to treat her the same way that he treats everyone else. Because she has loyalty, but I don't think that he does. I think he's just looking out for number 1.
That'll be interesting to see. Ooh, when he's running down Abbey? Let's see.
Yeah. So, well, I guess we can call this good and done. And hopefully by next time we'll have a name. And I promise next time we'll take notes and bring them. So, and I guess that's all for now. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Cheers! Can you do that?
Yeah. Like, if you don't have a protected network, there's like wireless. Bingo.
I don't understand British accents. I tried really hard. Okay. Is there going to be an outtakes reel?
Probably.
That's what I want to know.